Thank you very much, Mary. Inspiring words, and I won't try to top that. Mary did mention the need to be diplomatic, the need to build consensus in government, and I've had the good fortune of being in office for years, so I guess maybe in some ways you learn by mistake, and it can be said that even a blind squirrel occasionally finds an acorn. But I do think in the last 4 years we've had some good successes. A historic sales tax agreement between the city and Jefferson County allowed for the kind of fiscal solvency that allowed us to cut our tax levy by $2.6 million. We've been able to do that at the same time responding to some of the pains of growth. We've added to our police department and added to our planning and engineering departments to try to deal with the kind of growth. We've got major housing projects being built in the city, Starwood Apartments, Summit Wood, over on Olmsted Drive, and actually individual homes being built, some in this neighborhood, some over on the west side. So that's a good thing in Watertown. We accomplished, well, you don't have to clap at everything, it's not, and this is all really a team effort. I mean, a lot of people are behind this, but we have the transfer of the airport. I know Roxanne worked hard on that when she was in office before, and I know it was a high priority for my good friend, Mayor Joe Butler, and we were able to accomplish that the past 4 years, along with the transfer of the cost of emergency dispatch to the county. So we've been able to do some really good things. Now, you say, well, what's coming up? Everything's done. Well, the work of governing is never done. You have to look ahead and you say, what do we have to deal with? And sure, we're going to have to deal with crime and bumpy streets and all of those things and make the allocations necessary. But I think we're also going to have to start looking at fundamental ways in which we change our structure of government. You know, the governor's talked about efficiency and intergovernment relations and so on, and so far it is just talk. What we need is to hit the ground running and have the kind of dialogue with adjacent communities where we don't have a situation, as we do on Washington Street now, where people living across the street from one another have different water rates. That is silly. People look at that, the citizenry looks at that, and they say, what are you people thinking? We have to try to overcome those differences, whether it be an amalgamation of water and sewer districts into a uniform structure, any number of things. We are expected to try and overcome those type of things. It all sounds very boring. You know, you can get up here and you can talk about the hot button issues. You can talk about the issues that divide people. You can talk about school prayer, and you can talk about abortion, and you can talk about all sorts of things that have nothing to do with administering a government in a municipality. Or you can talk about those sort of policy issues that make people snooze, and I think that's what we need to start talking about if we're going to make this community more efficient. Now, some people may snooze off at some of those meetings, but I think from looking at the 4 people running tonight, we've got 4 people who are certainly up to the challenge. All of us have our favorites, as is evidenced by signs and so on, but I am so excited about the opportunity of being Watertown's longest serving mayor come January, but also the opportunity of working with whoever are the winners in this race, as well as Councilman Smith and Councilman Clough, with whom I have great relations. So I want to continue those relationships. Frank mentioned the kind of relationships we've been able to build in Albany. I think that's important. I think it's important that people in the U.S. Senate or the New York legislature know who the mayor of Watertown is, and I've had some dealings with him. And I think we can take those relationships and take the experience I have and make a better Watertown. And I thank all of you for coming here tonight. I invite you to the Northside Improvement League next Thursday night. I don't know if the hors d'oeuvres will be as good as PJ made tonight or Jeff out back, but it'll be a good time, and that's a candidate forum, and that'll be sort of the last chance to take a look at us before the election, November 6th. And it is so important because I think people have said this election has been kind of quiet. There's just been a few lawn signs out and this and that, and I know I chose the wrong color for mine and you can't read them too well, but still, it is so important to get your friends out to vote, as Mary said, because nothing is worse than an election in which 10 or 20% of the people cast the ballots. That means a very few people are deciding the future of Watertown. I want as many people as possible deciding. So take the word forth from this room, get people out to vote. Thank you for coming tonight. We all look forward to a better Watertown. Thank you.
Like Roxanne said, bon appetit, plenty of food left here.
No, I didn't have a chance to say this phrase tonight. I have to get it out. Watertown's workhorse.